Hi, I'm Shane from PDQ.com. Today we're going to walk you through using the Office Customization Toolkit, or OCT, to build a silent installation for Office 2016. First thing you're going to want to do is grab your Office installation media, copy those folders out to an accessible file share. You can see I've got this Office 2016 HQ folder out on a file share, and I've got 32-bit installation files as well as 64-bit. It is generally considered a best practice just to use the 32-bit, keep your installations consistent across your network, but there are legitimate reasons to go 64 if you want. Whatever you do, you're going to have a separate OCT files, installation files for each architecture. So I'll show you how to do both. How's that sound? So I'm going to go into the 64-bit. For each architecture, you're going to have an admin folder in there. That's what allows you to use the OCT. There's the setup.exe. I'm just going to go to my start and run and drag that right over. And then you want to do to build your OCT, to build your silent install. First thing you want to do is do a space /admin. By adding that /admin parameter, that will actually instantiate the customization tool and ask you if you want to create a customization file or use an existing one. Obviously, you're probably going to create one from scratch. To save some time, I will point to an existing one that we have built. And then this is where you customize it. The install location, set your organization name, etc. The licensing, this is a really important part. The licensing and user interface. Number one, if you have a KMS server for your Microsoft products, you can use that. Otherwise, enter your product key, no spaces, and it's 25 characters. And you're going to really want to make sure that that is the correct key, because if it's not, then the deployment will hang. You have to accept the terms of the license agreement, the EULA. So click that. And then we highly recommend, unless you're troubleshooting, you need to set this display level to none. And then, of course, with none, the rest of the suppress modal and stuff kind of become unnecessary, but we have checked no cancel and suppress modal. So that's the important part. Now on the modify setup properties, it's very popular for people to do the hide update UI. To add a property, you just simply click the add button, type in the name and the corresponding value. So there's only a few in 2016. There's only a few properties that are available. And you'll notice that there was a big change in the available properties from 2010 to 13 and from 13 to 16, actually getting fewer options. Hide update UI, if you're going to also add additional updates to Office beyond the initial installation, you'll want to do that, set that value to true. The setup_reboot, we have that set to never. It is important ultimately to reboot your computers after you deploy Office to them, but in this case, we don't want to do that. If you don't want to do that, just do the setup_reboot to never. We're not going to go through all of these. We are going to accept the default on a lot, like the remove previous installations. Yes, just remove the previous setup. The set feature installation states. This is where you see, you've seen this if you've ever installed Office. Manually on a computer, you have to choose which Office components you want. You'll do the same thing here. Now, if you require different organizations in your company to have different types of Office setups, like maybe one department needs access, and the other one doesn't, then you'll have to create different customization files for each type of deployment that you want. And just move on down. How do you want to handle existing Outlook profiles, etc. It's fairly self-explanatory. Once you're done, save your installation, and then you will see that an MSP file is created. Now it's important to have the MSP file in the same directory as the setup.exe. Remember we had mentioned the updates. If you want to go out and grab additional updates, you can see I've done that through a bunch of 64-bit Office updates here in the updates folder. What that does is, after the installation is finished of the base product, the OCT effectively goes out to the updates folder and says, hey, are there any Office updates? And it silently installs those. And that's going to be per architecture. So the 32-bit will have the corresponding 32-bit updates. That's if you want to use that. It's not required. The next video, we're going to show you how to use PDQ Deploy to actually take this installation file and build a silent installation that you can deploy. So we'll see you on the next video. I'm Shane from PDQ.com.